And Connell just brought up the emails. Well, the WikiLeaks email dump and Hillary Clinton's ongoing FBI investigation, arguably that dark cloud that's hanging over Democratic members of the House running for re-election, because they have to answer some questions about that. Let's bring in somebody running for re-election in California's 3rd District. Current polls show him keeping his Republican competitor Eugene Kleek at bay. We join with Democratic Congressman from California, John Garamendi, Hillary Clinton supporter. Welcome, Representative. Thank you for being here on a Saturday. Our live coverage. We're so glad you're with us.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you, Liz, and look forward to tomorrow and the next day and a victory on Tuesday.
Well, looks like a victory for you for now. You are ahead in the polls, but voters are conflicted. At least some of the voters are conflicted, Representative, because they are seeing these WikiLeaks dumps. They are now at more than 50,408 emails. And then you pile on the FBI investigation. How are you contending as you're out on the campaign trail with questions about this?
Actually, very, very few questions about it. People digested this long ago, and they understand. They also understand, and this is what they asked me about and said, why isn't anybody talking about Russia here? These WikiLeaks came from a Russian hack of an American political system, and they're going, well, why aren't they talking about that? And why aren't they talking about the fact that this affects only Democrats and not Republicans? Is Russia trying to play a game here? Those are the kind of questions I get, not about the individual emails. They don't know whether they're accurate or not, and they've been going on and on for now more than a year. So they've digested it, but they're really, really concerned about the Russian influence or attempt to influence the American election.
Listen, Fox Business has talked about the Russians and how perhaps they are doing something quite nefarious by getting this involved.
No doubt.
But you can't deny, Congressman, that when you see the polls this close, and look, general elections tend to tighten up in the last few days, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. But unaffiliated voters are really questioning this right now. So I guess as you look at all of the events swirling around on the campaign trail, in California, you look pretty strong here, but what is Hillary Clinton's message? What would you like that message to be in these final hours?
Well, I think there's two different things that are being said. Both are important. First of all, there is a clear contrast in temperament and the way in which people would handle their job. Hillary handles things in my view, in a very informed and a very thoughtful way. Trump has a long history, as we've seen over the debates and when he's not reading the teleprompter, of really going off in really strange directions. So that temperament issue is out there, and Hillary talks about it, others talk about it, and it is an issue. The other thing are the policies that are necessarily going to be taken up after we go back in January for the next Congress. And those are some profoundly important policies. I just heard, for example, Mr. Trump on the trail, I guess it must have been in North Carolina, saying one thing, that he was going to renegotiate NAFTA. Okay. And then he was going to dump it and then start all over and renegotiate it. Well, you're negotiating and renegotiating. It's that lack of clarity. NAFTA is a problem. It certainly has been. And when you talk about what's been going on with the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Hillary did exactly what a thoughtful person would do. And that's say, okay, we would like to see international trade increase. And then when she looked at the final language, she said, this doesn't work. And she opposed the final language, as did any thoughtful person.
So bend before you break is what you're saying. Maybe she's bending. Some people call it flip-flopping. I need to get this news out to our viewers. Let me get this news out to your viewers, because this is important, and it is breaking. It's 10 p.m. right now, around that time in Iraq. And it appears that the Iraqi army has liberated the town just south of Mosul, which is, of course, the ISIS stronghold, Haman al-Alil. It's just been liberated. The Iraqis are pushing into Mosul. You, as a member of Congress, what does our nation need to do to further support them? There's always that question of boots on the ground. The next president may have to make some serious decisions.
Well, I think we're on the right track here. This has been a very, very difficult situation. Started way back when the Maliki government pushed the Sunnis out and left them isolated, and that became the opportunity for ISIL to take over Mosul and other cities in the area. The Iraqi army was completely decimated, had to be rebuilt, took time, And now it is, together with other allies, America and the Kurds, moving very carefully and very strongly to retake the single most important city that ISIS has held for more than 2 years. It is a very, very important campaign, and it's going according to plan. In other words, the generals know what they're doing.
Okay, we got to run.
Mr. Trump may think he knows more, but the generals are right on track.
Believe it or not, we're live, and we got to run or I'll be cut off. This is not a tape show. We are live. Congressman John Garamendi of California, thank you.
Liz.